I didn't want to make this video, but with everything going on, I cannot remain silent. I must address the drama. Let me address everything from the Google Doc, which is 300 pages. Not because this is a classic legal tactic called document dumping, which purpose is to slow down responses and bury key points in massive amounts of information, instead of presenting key points and evidence. In court this is usually heavily sanctioned, but on the internet, where it's a free-for-all and ruining people's lives is financially profitable, it's alright. No, the real reason why the Google Doc is 300 pages is because I was developing when on the island and them parties were getting pretty wild. Why do you think I made a game about a small, child-sized character getting metaphorically fucked for 100 hours straight? Anyways, the other point of drama is yes, I have been grooming Harry Skull, the developer of Brink of Broken. We were talking in DMs about working together on a future game, which is obviously code for severe brutal gay sex. Also, seeing as my game came out before his and also I am a few months older than him, it was also a severe case of power imbalance and pedophilia. Lastly, and most damningly of all, I went full pirate software and instead of developing the boss, I streamed video games of other people. The evidence is on the VOD channel. We all know that the second you start developing something, any second not spent on it is a betrayal and I should hang. The biggest mystery still remains. Even though with all this, how did I finish the boss? Okay, sorry, back to normal dev talk. Yes, I did finish the boss. I made it a bit of a gimmick fight, because I couldn't really develop. Because it's gay month, the LGBTs have done enough blasphemous shit that a portal to hell has opened in Europe, and we are hitting record temperatures. Daily. So, I actively had to fight heat strokes when in my room developing. It's definitely a worse boss than the first one. The boss is about practicing the perfect dodge. A lot of the boss is a long-ranged fight. And your style bar is your ammo. Normally you get style by attacking, but you can also get it by parrying or perfect dodging. So basically 6 phases of trying to get ammo while dodging stuff. There are also these parts where the boss tries to get a potshot melee attack. Parrying gives you a huge window to get an attack in. I made it so that attacking after parrying increases your damage drastically, making it a more appealing option than just dodging and then attacking. I think instead of making this boss the second one, I will make it the 4th or 3rd. Because there's no increase in stats and the gameplay mechanic that is focused on is universal to all the bosses, I think I can wait a bit for the player to get more comfortable with the combat before this fight. The severe lack of melee attacks does fit the style of the fight, but I don't want the players thinking that the purple bunny was the outlier in the amount of melee attacks it had. The next boss, so like the second boss you fight, will most likely be another fusion of melee and ranged. Probably more melee because I feel that's the most satisfying part. For the more general improvements, I added a few other things like the bullets now stopping if you're hit stun, so you don't get wombo combo during the bullet hell sections. The bosses also now have these gip animations after they're dead, so there's like a visual that hey, you won. Okay, I can't ignore it anymore. We reached the point of development where I can't go into specifics without actually spoiling the whole game. I understand full spoilers would go hard for these videos, but try to imagine that I also want to sell this thing later. Except the boss for next week, I would like to do 2 things. First is add some kind of visual for when the boss is stunned for the animation attacks, so like end of the phase. The first boss wasn't so bad with it being mostly melee damage that you do, but for the second one you just have to question sometimes why it stops and then you look at the health and oh, it's the end of the phase. It's a small remedy, but the second boss has a few phases where they just instantly start the next phase without an animation to keep the flow going. But the point still stands that I need an indicator for when you can do the animation. The second thing I want is to change the drifting. There's a flow to it and if you know how to use it, it can be very deadly. The issue lies with the steep learning curve. For such a short game, I want it to be easier to pick up. So instead of drifting, I'll just give you full control except for the fact that you can't stop. Yes, it will make it a lot easier to exploit, but that's alright. Now, I will stop this video before I get a heat stroke. It's 42 degrees outside and probably like 50 inside, because I have to close this room and turn off all the fans to not make it sound like I'm recording this on the wing of a flying plane. Now, thank you everyone so much for watching, goodbye.